Hey, what's up, YouTube? You know, it's your boy JB. You rocking with me and I'm rocking with you. And I want to welcome you guys back to the channel, Stocks on the Go. Guys, if you're not already a subscriber, please go ahead, hit the subscription button, tap on the notification bell, and pound on the like button, guys. It really does help with the algorithm of this video. Also, guys, before we get started, please take advantage of the Wealthsimple trade link in the description, guys. Whereas when you sign up using my referral code, guys, you get 2 free stocks valued up to $4,500, guys, just from depositing $1. All right, guys, so let's jump into today's topic. All right, guys, so today I'll just be doing a quick video talking to my new investors, giving you guys some tips on how to approach the stock market. I know the stock market can be scary at times. It can be intimidating. But guys, I think that once you surround yourself with the right people and the right community, guys, I think that it makes that transition from a new beginner investor into a more seasoned investor a lot more easier. All right, guys, so with that being said, we're going to jump into the 3 stock tips for beginner investors that I have for you guys. And then we're going to jump into a short video from Warren Buffett, guys, because if we want to be the best at this, we really do have to learn from the best. And he's just going to go into more detail about these tips that I'm giving you right now. All right, guys, so tip 1. Getting started off in the stock market, you might not have that much dry powder, which is cash. All right, guys. So what I'd advise you to not do is do not stretch yourself wide, meaning starting off in the stock market with a little bit of cash and investing in a lot of companies, guys. A lot of the times new investors get started in the stock market and they tend to buy all their favorite companies with just a little bit of cash, and then they expect to see returns. Guys, you'll be waiting for years for that. I'd advise you to invest into 2 to 3 companies when you get started in the stock market. It's easy to manage and you can do it easily with a little bit of cash. Tip 2, guys. Always build out your position in your plays. So guys, if you are invested in 2 to 3 stocks as I recommended in tip 1, then guys, you'd like to build out your position in these plays. So the meaning of building out your position in a stock, guys, is acquiring 25 shares minimum. All right, guys, we aim to acquire 125 shares, but as I said, this is for startup investors. So 25 shares would be just perfect. All right, guys, so tip 3 and the final tip before we jump into the video, guys, is invest in yourself. Guys, pay yourself first. A lot of the times we work these 9-to-5 jobs, guys. We go to work, we get back home, and the end of the week when it's payday, we end up paying everybody else except for ourselves. We pay the water bill, we pay the light bill, we pay the phone bill. But when do you ever pay yourself, guys? Think about that. No, I'm not talking about the new Jordans, and I'm not talking about the hot iPhone. I mean, paid yourself first, guys. Invested in yourself. Something that will benefit your future 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, guys. This is how we build generational wealth. All right, guys, starting right here. Investing in yourself, guys. A lot of the times, new investors see the stock market as a get-rich-quick lottery ticket, guys. And please never take that approach. Always do your due diligence and remember that patience is key, guys. All right, so now we're going to jump into the video from Warren Buffett, guys. Please remember to smash the like.
If you're investing a small sum today, which approach would you use?
Well, I would use the approach that I think I'm using now of trying to search out businesses that where I think they're selling at the lowest price relative to the discounted cash they would produce in the future. But if I were working with a small amount of money, the universe would be huge compared to the universe of possible ideas I work with now. You mentioned that 56 to 69 was the best period. Actually, my best period was before that. It was from right after I met Ben Graham in early 1951. But from the end of 1950 through the next 10 years, actually returns averaged about 50% a year. And I think they were 37 points better than the Dow per year, something like that. But that I was working with a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of money. And so I would pour through volumes of businesses, and I would find one or two that I could put $10,000 into or $15,000 into that were just ridiculous. They were ridiculously cheap. And obviously, as the money increased, the universe of possible ideas started shrinking dramatically. The times were also better for doing it at that time. But I think if you're working with a small amount of money, with exactly the same background that Charlie and I have, and same ideas, same whatever ability we have, I think you can make very significant sums. But as soon as you start getting the money up into the millions, many millions, the curve on expectable results falls off just dramatically. But that's the nature of it. You've got to, when you get up to things you can put millions of dollars into, you've got a lot of competition looking at that, and they're not looking as I did when I started. When I started, I went through the pages of the manuals page by page. I mean, I probably went through 20,000 pages in the Moody's Industrial, Transportation, Banks, and Finance manuals, and I did it twice. And I actually, looked at every business. I didn't look very hard at some. Well, that's not a practical way to invest tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. So I would say if you're working with a small sum of money and you're really interested in the business and willing to do the work, you will find something. There's no question about it in my mind. You will find some things that promise very large returns compared to what we will be able to deliver with large sums of money. Charlie?
Well, yeah, I think that's right. A brilliant man who can't get any money from other people and is working with a very small sum probably should work in very obscure stocks, searching out unusual, mispriced opportunities. That's such a small world. It may be a way for one person to come up, but it's a long slog.
Yeah, most smart people, unfortunately, in Wall Street figure that they can make a lot more money, a lot easier, just by one way or another, getting an override on other people's money or delivering services in some way that people. And the monetization of hope and greed, is a way to make a huge amount of money. And right now, it's just take hedge funds. I mean, I've had calls from a couple of friends in the last month that don't know anything about investing money. They've been unsuccessful and everything else. And, one of them called me the other day and said, well, I'm forming a small hedge fund, 125 million he was talking about. Like the thought that since it was only 125 million, maybe we ought to put in 10 million or something of the sort. I mean, if you looked at this fellow's Schedule D on his 1040 for the last 20 years, you'd think he ought to be mowing lawns. But he may get his 125 million. I mean, and it's just astounding to me how willing people are during a bull market just to toss money around because they think it's easy. And of course that's what they felt about internet stocks a few years ago. They'll think about something else next year too. But the biggest money made in Wall Street in recent years has not been made by great performance, but it's been made by great promotion, basically. Charlie, do you have anything?
Well, I would state it even more strongly. I think the current scene is obscene. I think there's too much mania. There's too much chasing after easy money.
All right, guys, so we are back, and there you have it. Those were my 3 stock tips for new beginner investors, and also some advice from the man himself, Warren Buffett. All right, guys, please do remember to check out the links in the description for some easy way to make some quick cash, guys. And also keep your eyes open, ears in the street, because over here at Stocks on the Go, guys, we all gonna eat. It's your boy, JB. You rocking with me, and I'm rocking with you, and I am out.